As the prophet of esports, I rely on trustworthy and meaningful data every day. Data from our research partner YouGov offers the most complete view of esports fans and gamers in the world, providing context to who they are, what they think, the brands they buy, and things they do. YouGov's connected insights and research services inform strategy at every level. If you're a team, a brand, agency, or rights holder, you should be talking with YouGov. Their partners measure and maximize ROI and are telling compelling stories with data. Visit yougov.com/gaming-esports to learn more.
Let's talk about Xbox. Microsoft in the news. We started with something a little bit light. I want to get into some really kind of deep stuff here. Maybe industry changing news. And this is from Microsoft and Xbox. And the headline here is Microsoft reportedly wants to bring ads to free-to-play Xbox games. It says here the ads supposedly wouldn't disrupt gameplay. So Microsoft working on a program that will let brands showcase ads within free-to-play Xbox games, according to this report. And they won't disrupt, but they may appear on a billboard in a racing game. That's the example they use here. Sources also have said that Microsoft doesn't intend to take a cut of ad revenue and instead will allow the game developer and advertising company to share the funds. So Microsoft is hands off on any revenue here, which is also an interesting point. And the idea, according to them, is Microsoft wants to attract more developers of free-to-play games to their platform, and it won't use the data it collects to make the ads targeted. So no targeted advertising here. So what does everyone think of in-game ads for free-to-play games from Microsoft and Xbox? This could be, this could be game-changing. I think could be really monumental from an industry standpoint. But Jeff, maybe start with you. Do you have thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I love this. I really do. Because I think games cost a lot of money to make, particularly good ones. Businesses are in the business of making money. So they're going to charge you. And if the game is free to play, there will be monetization in it. And even if it's in a subscription like Xbox Game Pass, at some point, I think unless they really want to raise the subscription price, there's only so much content they can put into that subscription before they have to start figuring out another way to monetize. So if they can put ads into the games in a way that they're supposedly saying isn't going to disrupt gameplay, like that seems to be a win-win for everybody, right? Like, what do you care when you drive on the highway and there's a billboard as you drive by? 90% of people don't even notice it, but guess what? It's there, and it's helping support this entire ecosystem. So I don't know. I'm sure gamers are going to get outraged about this because gamers get outraged about everything. But to me, this feels sort of like a win-win. Like, I just don't know why you would get upset about this if you're a gamer.
Anyone? I'm curious. Is anyone upset about this? Anyone in chat or Jimmy or Lindsay? Did this upset either of you?
The only thing that upset me about this is that Microsoft's not taking a cut of the ads. Like, what a brilliant thing to allow. And this is probably the first announcement from an Activision Blizzard related company that we've seen that's not taking a cut, right? Like, and obviously that's because of the acquisition, and it's kind of a reverse joke, I guess. Maybe it was funnier in my head, right? Because Activision has their hands in everything that they do and tries to squeeze every little penny out of everything. But now that it's a Microsoft company, it's like, no, we're going to let you guys make money, to Jeff's point, make this a better ecosystem, a better game, offer things where the user doesn't pay for it. And Microsoft's not touching it. The other thing I don't like is that the ads aren't targeted. Targeted ads are a good thing. It means there's something of relevance there. I don't want to see an ad for something I don't care about. If I have to see an ad, show me something I want to buy. Tell me what I need to buy. That's the point of the ad. I'm here to be sold. My money is yours. I will say I've worked with some awesome developers in the past, and they had an amazing ability to overlay digital environments in top games like Fortnite, like Valorant, with sponsor logos. So you're walking around one of these worlds in game, and you can see a billboard with a company. You can see one of the houses that's always in the game, but the side of it has a logo on it. It was a really cool technology. didn't take away from the game. And to Jeff's point, it's the same thing as driving past a billboard that you might not have noticed, but there's value there to the advertiser. So I love this. I think we need more of this.
None of you, hold on, no one, I'm shocked that no one has said maybe this is a slippery slope that we don't want to go down. That yes, today, as described, seems like a win-win, right? Adam says absolutely a win-win if it truly is non-invasive to the gaming experience. I think everyone agrees, right? But no one sees this as a slippery slope where today it's non-invasive and then it's on loading screens and then it's on every building in the environment you're in, and then it's on items in game, and then like eventually everything is just some piece of embedded advertising to the point where you're just bombarded with it, and maybe at some point it's not just free to play games, it's now games that you paid money for, the $50 or $60 or $70 game, while we throw some ads in there too, because people have got used to it for the last 2 or 3 years. No one sees this as potentially a slippery slope.
We already see it on pay and on for pay. I don't know what you call it, but games that cost money. You look at the Madden, you look at FIFA, you look at 2K. They do, I think, the best job of integrating ads like this, and really, it's more branded integration on a game that you pay $60 for, and then I load up my character. If he's low on health and he's fatigued, there's a little Gatorade logo next to his name. If you're watching him on the court, on the pitch, on the field, the border around it has the rotating ad banners, and then the replays also have the ads come on screen with that logo. It's just like watching a real sporting match, except it's on a video game that I've also paid $60 for. And maybe we don't notice it because we're used to it watching traditional sports. But I just feel like they've already done it successfully in a way that people are accustomed to and don't find repulsive. Jeff, I think you wanted to say something too.
No. I mean, I thought you were making an awesome point. I think with sports games, you just get away with it because it actually makes it more authentic. Like it would be weird to play NBA 2K and not see advertisements around the court, because that's just what it is when you see, when you watch normal sports. So that makes total sense. The thing I was going to bring up is like rewarded ads, because actually in mobile games, like there's a lot of data out there that shows that gamers actually really like engaging with mobile rewarded ads. So it's kind of like, hey, I don't want to spend $5 for this sword, but I will watch, a 30-second advertisement, or I will subscribe to Netflix to get this $50, in-game reward, because, that is a thing that gets given out. So what do you guys make of that? Like, do you think that's something we'll see in pay-to-play games? Slash, do you have a problem with that kind of?
Well, isn't that sort of part of the slippery slope I just described?
I'm not disagreeing with that. That definitely, yes, I think it will happen. I'm saying, is that problematic? Like, I like choice.
Good question. What do you guys think? Like for console specifically here, because we're talking about Xbox, does that do console? Like, you're right, Jeff, that is much more accepted on mobile. If you brought that to console in a big way and a very widespread way, do you get revolt?
I don't know.
Oh, Lindsay,
I know. No, it's fine. It's hard. This discussion is hard for me because I am such a mobile gamer, and every single game I play is just riddled through and through with ads, and I just really don't care. It does not bother me, or I don't think about it whatsoever at this point. So maybe your slippery slope argument has something there, but maybe it's just not that big of a deal either. I don't know. We'll see. And if it is a huge deal, I imagine companies will pivot away from it. There really is a lot of unhappiness. I don't think mobile gamers and game development companies would still keep advertising the way it is.
I have one more thing, Paul, and I know we got some great comments in chat that I'm sure you want to get to. My last point is, I don't really care if you as a consumer, as a user, have a problem with the ads. It is paying for all of this. And if I shove it down your throat enough across all of my games, you're going to have to accept it, because your voice just doesn't matter. Like this is such a powerful money-making opportunity. There are hundreds of millions that can force this into reality. And it's not even a choice, really. It's just whether or not it's as lucrative as we think it's going to be.
I'm scared to hear all of you say this. But I come back to, and I'm such a capitalist, but I come back to like, is nothing sacred, right? And I see a future where it's like, WoW decides to go free to play, and instead of picking up a potion of this or whatever. Like now I'm picking up a Pepsi from the tavern, right? Like sponsored by Pepsi. And I just feel like we're damning an entire generation of gamers to this like future of just ads everywhere in every part of the game. If we even allow this sort of this first step down this slippery slope to happen.
To your point is nothing sacred. You can't take photographs in the Sistine Chapel. Why? Because a Japanese television company paid for the renovation and now bans photography in the Sistine Chapel. You have to buy their cards and their images. So no, literally nothing is sacred.
I never knew that.
Tom says targeting is important to be able to sell the ads. Yeah, you would think Microsoft allowing the ads to be better targeted with their data would make sense, but I don't know why they made that decision. Privacy issues, I guess, and also targeted ads can be annoying, right? I mention one thing that Alexa hears me say, and every ad I see for the next like 6 months is this one thing that I probably even bought 6 months ago. Angie says it depends on how native they are. In games that include backgrounds, that would be weird not to see billboards, okay, but otherwise it doesn't work. Yeah, but I come back to, it's a great point, Angie. But, I think it was you, Jimmy, who mentioned it. There are companies putting, billboards on the side of a building in CSGO. That does ruin the immersion, right? Like a burned out building in a town that is supposedly the scene of some terrorist incursion, right? Should probably not have some pristine, like, again, I don't know, Pepsi ads. I don't know why I'm targeting Pepsi here, but Pepsi advertisement all over it. I don't know. I could see how there is a fine line with all this. And I suspect we're going to get a lot of hate because people will be crossing this line, right? Or they won't know where the line is at first, especially. And I suspect there's going to be a lot of backlash early on. Tom says, I remember KFC and Crazy Taxi. It was fun. Well, I guess if it fits, to Angie's point, that's okay.
I had a good interview with a woman from frameplay.gg who talked a lot about intrinsic advertising and finding those ways where it's more of a natural fit and it makes sense within games. So there's a way to do it. It's not all going to be like, you're not going to be picking up a Pepsi and at the tavern in League of Legends.
That's what I worry about. That's what keeps me up at night. Okay.
Picking up a Budweiser in the tavern.
Snowball argument examples. We'll go there.
No, it wouldn't.
Who cares? It's beer.
So, depends on the game, right? Like Sea of Thieves, you can drink from your tankard on the ship and get your pirate a little tipsy, and yeah, that could have a keg with, I don't know, what was around back then. Sam Adams was probably just getting started. Something,
No, it doesn't work. Greg says, aren't loading screens the best location for ads? It's like TV commercials. They're there, but you don't really see them. Agreed. The problem is that I think most, including Xbox, with all the new consoles, are trying to get rid of loading screens. But this is a big sort of push with the new consoles and their ultra fast storage is the loading screens go away. So you lose all this ad inventory in that way also. Adam says, we were told the Flash would fade the Sistine Chapel when I visited. Life is a lie. Jimmy with the insider knowledge.
Google it. It's a crazy story.